protesters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
Cockpit earlier at about 7 a.m. A group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, China offers incentives to stop the Philippines' case over disputed territories in the South China Sea. Alleged pork barrel queen Jaene Zaplan gets her medical tests. Doctors say her condition isn't alarming. And gunmen open fire near several opposition protest sites in Bangkok. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. China offers the Philippines incentives to derail its case against China over disputed territories in the South China Sea. Sources say China wants to stop the Philippines from submitting its written pleading called a memorial to the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, or ITLAS, by March 30th. Former National Security Advisor Rodneil Quiteles says China offered incentives like the mutual withdrawal of ships from the disputed Panatag or Scarborough Shoal. Panatag is now practically occupied by Chinese ships following a tense standoff in 2012 when the Philippines withdrew its ship. A government source says China offered more investments through a lawmaker who acted as a backdoor negotiator. The palace source says President Benigno Aquino convened his cabinet to discuss the offer. It divided the cabinet, with Foreign Secretary Albert Del Rosario standing by his position to pursue the case. In a briefing Tuesday, Foreign Affairs spokesman Raul Hernandez says the Philippines is bent on submitting its written pleading by March 30th. Quiteles says China's offer is, quote, a sign of weakness. He adds, why should we reward them for withdrawing from our own territory, from our own exclusive economic zone? Asked for comment, the Chinese embassy says it has, quote, no information to offer about this. Alleged pork barrel scam mastermind Janet Lim-Napoles gets a day out of detention to take her medical tests in a police hospital. She earlier filed a motion for medical examination following the discovery of 3-centimeter ovarian cyst in September 2013. Are the results alarming? Bea Cupid reports.
The woman at the center of the pork barrel scam steps out of her detention center for the first time this year. 2 convoys bring Janet Lim-Napoles to the Camp Crame General Hospital, where she takes a battery of tests. Napoles is the alleged mastermind in the country's biggest corruption scandal to date. A Makati court grants Napoles' motion to conduct a medical examination after she complains of hypoglycemia, drastic weight loss, chest pains, severe abdominal pains, and profuse menstrual bleeding. Napoles is currently detained in a Laguna police camp for the illegal detention of a former aide who blew the whistle on her, Ben Horloy. She also faces plunder charges for the pork barrel scam. Tests taken in October 2013 showed an ovarian tumor and a drop in Napoles' hemoglobin count. Blood tests also show elevated levels of CA125, a biomarker for ovarian cancer. Napoles has been denied bail twice, and her camp says this short trip out of Fort Santo Domingo is crucial to her well-being. In Camp Crame, the medical examination takes over 2 hours. Blood extractions, a transvaginal ultrasound, and a pap smear. The results of the ultrasound contradict the October 2013 CT scan.
Kung babasehan natin yung resulta nung last year at yung resulta ngayon magkaiba. Initially, ang impression noon is right ovarian cyst. Okay. Ngayon naman, may bukol pero hindi naman sa ovary. Sa may uterus naman.
PNP doctors say Napoles has an idea of the results of the ultrasound but refused to give details.
So nung nalaman po niya, medyo lang po siya. So concerned lang po siya kung okay naman po na nawala yung bukol dun sa ovary na nakita nung last, I believe, nung September. So ngayon po, medyo inano naman po namin siya na hindi naman din po siya ganun ka-alarming.
PNP doctors emphasize there is no imminent threat to her life.
Hindi alarming. Iisa lang naman ibig sabihin nun, hindi alarming at this point of time. Walang problema. Hindi po siya i-confine. As a matter of fact, siya po ay ibabalik na doon sa kanyang lugar sa 4A.
Judge Elmo Alameda of the Makati Regional Trial Court Branch 150 allows Napoles' camp to take the test results to a different hospital for a second opinion. Her lawyers say they may ask the court to let her take another special test to better understand her medical condition. But another trip out of Laguna will not come cheap. With 100 members of the PNP deployed, officials estimate Napoles' trips from Laguna to Manila costs 120,000 pesos each. The results of the exam come out Wednesday afternoon, but the PNP says they will not release the results to the public. If the alleged pork barrel queen has an illness, how will it impact on her detention and, more importantly, her case? Will this be a turning point in the saga of the poster girl for corruption? Bea Cupin, Rappler, Manila.
For our social media post of the day, it costs a lot to shuttle Janet Lim-Napoles to Camp Crame and Fort Santo Domingo and back. The amount of effort and money given to her checkups leave netizens angry. They say the situation is unfair. Mikel Caringal says, "So many of our countrymen can't get checkups because they don't have the money. This swindler gets an escort, a convoy, and a checkup at an expensive facility. And what money do they use to spend on her? Taxpayers' money." Metalfonso Uriarte says, "She's probably getting sick because she's so depressed that she's not living the high life with our taxes. She's so used to it that when she was put in her place, the sadness of losing all our money compromised her health." Pork barrel scam witness Dennis Cunanan says he has nothing to hide and says he's willing to go through a lifestyle check. Cunanan is the provisional state witness in the case against senators linked to the multi-billion peso scam, where Senators Jingo Estrada, Bong Revilla, and Juan Ponce Enrile, along with several others, allegedly siphoned funds to fake NGOs in exchange for kickbacks. The three senators, along with Cunanan, faced plunder complaints before the ombudsman in relation to the scam. Cunanan says he did not receive kickbacks from the projects funded by pork barrel funds that were coursed through the Technology Research Center, or TRC. He's currently on indefinite leave as TRC head. Justice Secretary Laila de Lima says Cunanan's testimony debunks the senators' claims that they did not choose the NGOs that received their funds. Energy Secretary Jericho Petilla promises to restore electricity in all areas hit by 2012's Typhoon Pablo within 45 days. This comes after President Benigno Aquino scolded his cabinet for failing to restore energy over a year since the typhoon. On a visit to Cateil in Davao Oriental Monday, Aquino learned 57% of the barangays affected by Typhoon Pablo still had no electricity. Aquino says, quote, "By the next time I follow up with them, there needs to be electricity to most areas or they'll need to submit their resignations. We all have work, so do your work or sorry." Petilla promised in late 2013 to restore power to areas hit by Super Typhoon Yolanda by Christmas or he would resign. Aquino praised him for supposedly being able to do that. But Tacloban Mayor Alfred Romualdez says the supposed 99% restoration of electricity in Yolanda-hit areas is not true. He says about 50% are still without power in Tacloban alone until now. Getting disaster warnings can soon be as easy as reading a text message. The Senate endorses a House bill requiring telecommunication companies to send free mobile alerts in times of disasters. Senate President Frank Drilon says the Senate might be able to pass the free SMS Disaster Alerts Act before March 15. The House of Representatives approved it early February. Drilon says the free service will become, quote, a required additional service of telecommunication companies. Under the bill, telcos will be required to send text messages that contain crucial information and contact numbers of disaster agencies. On Monday, the National Telecommunications Commission says the telcos agreed to comply with the bill because the alerts won't require additional cost on their operations. In supporting the bill, lawmakers say past disasters showed many victims did not get enough warnings about the typhoon, rain, or floods. A Rappler exclusive. Farmers barricade their rice fields in Barangay Poocan in Semirara Island, Antique Province after Semirara Mining Corporation or SMC tried to bulldoze their crops Tuesday. Teo Mateo of the Pambansang Kilusan ng mga Samahang Magsasaka says 2 trucks, a bulldozer, and 4 security guards tried to enter the village around 4:30 p.m. The guards say Caluya Mayor Genevieve Lim Reyes ordered the bulldozing. Reyes plans to turn the land into a relocation site for around 100 families from the nearby village of Sabang, where a waste facility for their coal power plant is supposed to be built. An SMC assistant administrator who requested anonymity tells Rappler the company dispatched the bulldozing group but says it was the mayor's project. Rappler texted Lim Reyes for a statement but received no reply. Around 70 people will be affected if the demolition is given the go signal. Most are farmers who have been toiling the land for more than 30 years. SMC is the biggest coal producer in the country. The Energy Department extended SMC's rights to mine coal and conduct explorations in Semirara until 2027. Locals oppose the extension. 7 bus companies involved in the deadliest accidents turn out to be tax evaders. Based on data from the Finance Department and the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service, these bus operators either did not file income tax returns in 2012 or did not have tax identification numbers at all. 11 other bus companies on the most dangerous list declared earnings of 737 million pesos but paid only 5.48 billion pesos in taxes. This represents less than 1% of total reported gross receipts. Don Mariano Transit tops the list of the Land Transport Franchising and Regulatory Board's most dangerous bus operators. In December last year, one of its buses plunged off the elevated skyway in Parañaque City, killing at least 18. Transport officials canceled the bus franchise after the incident, but its owner, Melissa Lim, owns 6 other bus companies, 3 of which are also in the most dangerous list: Admiral Transport, Nova Auto Transport, and Roval Transport. Gunmen opened fire near several opposition protest sites in Bangkok Wednesday, increasing tensions as Thailand's embattled prime minister goes to her political stronghold in the north. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra is under intense pressure to step down, with protesters demanding an unelected People's Council take her place. Yingluck flew to the northern city of Chiang Rai Wednesday to inspect government-backed projects, but officials deny she's on the run from protesters. More than 700 people are injured in street violence since protests began late October. 4 children were among the victims of 2 separate grenade and gun attacks on opposition rallies over the weekend. Hundreds of protesters gather outside the police headquarters in Bangkok on Wednesday, demanding justice for the children. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 3, at least 43 people died Tuesday in an attack at a Nigerian school. The attackers throw explosives and fire guns into students' rooms at a residential building. Male students were targeted while female students were spared. The attackers are suspected to be Boko Haram Islamists who are against Western education. At number 6, a report reveals 1 million babies didn't survive their first 24 hours of life in 2012. International charity Save the Children urges governments to address preventable deaths. The report says 6.6 million children around the world die before their 5th birthday, most from preventable causes. The charity says 2 million babies could be saved each year. And at number 9, the Bitcoin community is in turmoil. The crash of Tokyo-based exchange Mt. Gox and the apparent loss of $300 million worth of Bitcoins shakes confidence in the fastest-growing virtual currency. Bitcoin has no managing central bank. Critics say the Mt. Gox highlighted Bitcoin's structural flaws, while others say the closure of Mt. Gox would not stop the growth of the virtual currency. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel, and your vote comes down to the mood navigator. That's in the middle of the front page. It crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and viewers the most emotionally. These 10 stories have gotten the most number of votes on their mood meter. Today's mood navigator looks a little bit like a Christmas tree. You have stories like this flesh-eating illness in Pangasinan, a hoax, says the DOH. Interestingly, 27% annoyed. You see 12% afraid, but 34% happy. Even here, you have 12% angry. That red picked up. In the story that's gotten the most number of votes, this one, China offers the Philippines carrot to quit case. 7% annoyed, 83% angry. That red bringing out the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that is Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, February 26, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.